Hello, listeners, fuckers, dudes, and dudettes. Welcome to episode 2 of Grumpy X Sunshine. That's not 3 X's, but we do come with a parental advisory. I'm Storm, aka Grumpy, if you couldn't fucking tell.
I'm Lady Sunshine. Hello.
Today we are going to be talking about Skinwalkers, and Lady is going to be talking about Wendigos. Lady is also going to try not to say Skinwalker the entire time.
Yeah, let's see how good I do with that. As long as I'm not reading it on a page, I'm fine with not saying it.
Mm-hmm.
But I really don't like just saying it.
Yeah, no.
Freaks me out.
Storm here, I am a little stitious. Lady is superstitious.
Yep. About specific things.
Yeah. So,
everything, but
what is a skinwalker, essentially?
I actually have no clue, come to find out.
Oh?
I just thought they were the scary shadow creatures in the Appalachian Forest.
Nope.
And they whistle at you, and they hunt you, and they kill you.
So I did a little research, not super in-depth. I'm not as in-depth as Lady is, because I got the call at, what time did we have the phone call last night? 9?
Oh god, yeah, 9:30.
Yeah, while I was at work, and I worked till 11. I got home, had to cook myself food, and I fell asleep doing research.
I would also like to point out that Lady is a Virgo and Storm is a Gemini, so if that helps you guys.
You're also super type A, and I'm also super type B.
I'm type A to a point. I'm very wishy-washy, but specific things.
Oh.
Specific things.
Super on point. So, Skinwalker is essentially a Navajo legend. Essentially, they're an evil witch, and I say witch in quotations because they could change shape or possession of an animal with other people. Witch is the best word to describe it that we have, but it's not really a witch. It's more just energetic. You know what I mean?
So, no, I'll let you finish. You're going to answer my question anyways.
Probably not.
Is it human?
Technically, some stories say that they are.
Okay.
When I say that there is conflicting research, there is so much conflicting research. Very, very few articles that I read all had the same thing.
Oh.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
So, I would read 4 articles, and 3 of them would have, this thing, and then the last article would not have that thing at all.
That's kind of what was happening with mine. It was it all was very similar and revolved around kind of the same notations, just kind of slightly altered.
Yeah.
But if yours was...
There was one thing that they all had in common, which we'll get to that in a little bit. So, they change shape or take possession of animals and other people.
Wait, take possession?
Take possession. Not just take their skin and wear it. No, possession.
Ew.
Yeah.
So wait, I'll let you finish. I'll ask my questions in a minute. I'll see if you answer them. This is too early on for me to just be questioning you.
So I did want to mention that other cultures have some different shape-shifting legends, like werewolves, you know what I mean? Vampires turning into bats, gods turning into animals, or turning other people into animals, etc., etc. You know what I mean? It's one of those things that's we're all a lot more connected than we realize, especially ancient aliens and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to say ancient aliens, I meant to say pyramids, but ancient aliens came out because they probably helped us build the pyramids. Says my father.
I just heard the conspiracy theory that the pyramids were actually electrical source.
Yeah.
Because Nikola Tesla built wireless energy, wireless power.
They did experiments
by using the same diagrams from the pyramids.
Well, you know that the pyramids are actually 8-sided and not 4, correct?
No.
Yeah, they're 8-sided.
How the fuck are they 8-sided?
You can only see it on the solstices. Yeah. Because on the solstice, there's a dent, very, very subtle.
Oh, on the corners?
Not the corners. In the sides, the actual sides, there's an indent. So they come in and they're actually 8-sided. It's more like a star instead of a pyramid. Okay, that's the ones in Egypt, at least.
I had no clue.
Yeah, it's crazy. But if you put something under a pyramid, say that you build a giant, not humongous, like the pyramids of Gaza.
Okay.
Or Giza, however you pronounce it. But you build like a giant pyramid a couple stories high, and you put a greenhouse at the bottom.
Okay.
Those plants inside the greenhouse are going to grow stronger and faster than the pyramids outside of it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you mean the plants outside of it, not the pyramids?
Yeah, the plants outside of the pyramid are going to... The plants inside the pyramid are going to go stronger and faster versus the ones outside of it.
Okay, yeah. You said versus the maybe I misheard you.
Yeah, no, I definitely said versus the ones outside of it.
I thought you said
You've been mishearing me all morning.
My ears just aren't working today.
We cleaned out.
I feel like I'm drunk, if that makes sense.
Have you had enough sugar?
Yeah.
Have you had enough water?
Yeah. I drank like a whole 40 ounces before I even got here.
Have you had food?
I had that pocky. That's what I had. No. Had some coffee this morning too. We went from Flesh Boys to pyramids. Yeah, I love that.
That's okay. If they haven't gathered that we're going to become off topic occasionally.
Tangents.
Oh, super distracted.
We'll make a little cutscene and put that exact clip right before we start going off on weird tangents. Anyways, continue with your Flesh Boys educating me.
So Navajo called them, and I'm gonna fuck this up. Ye Nadolish or Ye Nadolishi. I think I tried to say that with an Italian accent and it didn't fucking work.
I think you did say it with an Italian accent too.
And I just don't know how to say it. So Naldolishi. Okay, which essentially it means with it he goes on all fours.
Ew.
Yeah.
That's disgusting.
Think about it. Skinwalker using animals to wear their skin and walk through, but
because don't they normally show up as like a coyote?
Coyote's a big one, yeah.
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 I really hope that they catch it. My stomach just growled.
I didn't hear it.
Okay. I definitely heard it, and my pelvis is very close to the mic. We're good.
So when skinwalkers are in animal form, their eyes will go black. Go.
I love that.
When I can't speak English, that's what I do. So when skinwalkers are in animal form, their eyes will glow back red instead of like the typical silver. You know what like when you're driving and you see eyes on the side of the road, you typically see like silver.
Yeah.
Okay, so instead, a skinwalkers will glow back.
Glow back red.
Glow red instead. Okay, so they'll shimmer red. If they're in person form, it'll be animalistic.
Oh, because like people's eyes don't. Well, on camera, people's eyes will glow.
Yeah, sometimes. Well, they'll glow red because the one weird light.
So. Well, yeah, we have red reflexes in our eyes, but I'm talking about like on those like what the fuck am I trying to say? Those like
the Ring cameras or something.
Yeah, the Ring cameras. When you're watching videos of that, people will come in the middle of the night, and when they're looking at the camera, their eyes are completely like white.
Yeah,
glowing back at you.
Yeah, but no, they'll be animalistic if you see them. So creepy, but like kind of cool.
Don't tell me that turns you on.
I mean, if somebody was wearing like animal contacts, I wouldn't shy away from it.
Oh, I know what you're saying.
You know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't shy away from it. But, like, knowing that it's a flesh boy, flesh pedestrian, walking in their skin, no thank you.
Anyways.
Consent is
key.
Needed. Wait, thank you. Key. I couldn't think of the word. Anyways, so they became this way because of something quote-unquote evil happened. And again, there's conflicting research here where it's like, so some of them say it was a cult, essentially. Some say it's like you can become this way by breaking your tribal tattoos and like ruining your tribal tattoos. Shamans overcome and corrupted with their power, and they're compared to the Sith Lords from Star Wars. You know, with great power comes great responsibility.
Oh my god.
I know, that's Spider-Man, but the point is still there.
The fans are gonna come for you.
What, with mixing Star Wars and
Yes. Marvel and Star Wars, those people that support each.
The fact that I named both of them and knew what they came from, I feel shows that I have seen them and I appreciate them for what they are. Okay. And the fact that I can mix the two.
It's fine. We're already canceled by the second episode. It's great.
Which I was born canceled.
Stop. Anyways, that's okay.
Let's see. So, another thing that could have happened would be a person that killed a family member, like especially like in these stories, a sibling, and that gave them the supernatural powers.
So if I killed Crow, I would become a Skinwalker.
That's something that the legend says. Yeah, I think that there might be like a ritual with it, but again, there's like,
I'm coming for your spleen, Crow.
most of the Navajo will not speak about them. Completely understandable. You know what I mean?
Will
Like,
not speak about Skinwalkers? That was disgusting. That felt wrong coming out of my mouth, just so you know.
correct. Most of the Navajo will not speak on Skinwalkers, which we'll get into that in a second.
Because if you say their name, it calls them to you.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, disgusting. I just called it to me.
So they have to essentially keep killing and eating people to stay alive, but they are not mindless creatures.
Oh.
Okay, so they don't just do it for funsies. You know what I mean? Like, they don't see a person walking on the street and go, bang, like, just for fun. They will do this as, like, part of a ritual, greed, anger, resentment, stuff like that. Like, it is a very humanoid, emotional thing that, like, they go after. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So, like, revenge.
Gotcha.
They gain powers of the animals they transform into. So, like, power, strength, speed. So, like, a dog, they'll get speed. Coyote speed, power. A deer strength. Like,
would it also go off of what the Navajo believe these?
Yeah.
So, like, the never mind.
You just lost your train of thought.
Yeah, we're just gonna ignore that. Cut that out.
Crow, cut that.
Crow. Get on it, Crow.
Crow, help us.
Crow, I need you. Don't embarrass me. Because I'm not gonna listen to it after they edit it.
I will.
Just post it.
I will. Some say wearing the animal skulls or antlers give them more power. That's why you see pictures of them with the animal skulls and, like, there's the loose skin hanging off of them. Yeah.
Okay.
So it gives them extra power.
Yeah.
Being so connected to the animal.
Okay.
Okay. So some of their powers include reading minds, can control animals of the night, like owls, make people sick and kill them. This is being a big one, like killing them, because, yeah. Can call up spirits of the dead, like raise them from the dead.
That's disgusting.
Yeah, terrifying. That's why a lot of Native Americans won't go anywhere alone. And they're like, oh. This is the possession thing. If you lock eyes with them, they could potentially possess you and make you say and do things you wouldn't normally do.
That's gross.
Yeah. That's where that possession things comes in.
I look into people's eyes all the time.
Well, just the other day, what did I do to that dog that we saw?
Yeah.
Looked in their eyes.
You couldn't stop looking in their eyes.
No. I make eye contact.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not so much with people.
Oh my gosh.
Not so much with people, but, like, if I see a dog or something, I'm making eye contact.
Yeah.
I'm making eye contact.
I do it with people. I I do it with animals too, but not dogs. Not dogs ever. I don't like making eye contact with dogs unless like I'm personally close with them.
Mhm.
Like your dogs, I will. My dog, I will.
Well, I make eye contact with my dog so often, you know, like.
Right.
So.
And I'm fine doing it with with Blue's dog, but yeah, no. If it's a new dog that I'm meeting, no.
That's how I connect to him.
Yeah, and then like animals in like the wild, no. I don't make eye contact. I avoid it.
See, this is where we're finding out again that Storm is stupid.
Yeah. Well, it's a dominance thing.
So I'm just dominant.
Absolute dominance thing for animals. If you are making eye contact, you are directly challenging them. So if it's an unknown dog, if it's a dog that you don't know is not comfortable with you, and you are making eye contact and it's already scared and like already aggressive because it's, you know, it's been on its own, it's scared, it doesn't know what to do, it doesn't know if you're gonna hurt it, you are actively challenging it. So that's why you should stop making eye contact with dogs you don't know.
Here's the thing, I can't help it. I just look into puppies' eyes. They're so pretty.
Yeah.
I can't help it.
You're gonna have to.
They're so
You're
cute.
gonna get possessed.
I probably. That's a whole other story. But seriously, what would it make me do that I wouldn't normally do?
Eat people?
You could convince me.
That's terrible.
To try it.
I know.
Not that I would go out and like do it on my own.
No, you would have to absolutely lie to me that this is not human meat type of shit to get me to eat.
It would also depend on the day. I already put in my let you finish that drink. I already put meat in my mouth when I suck dick. Like
you don't eat it. It's so gross.
Num num num.
I just want to point out, I think sucking dick, like the actual, like when you're actually thinking about it, is disgusting.
Yeah.
So gross to me.
For sure. Same thing with eating out. Same thing with eating out. Sex in general is gross.
Yeah.
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 It really is.
Yeah. That's why people don't think about it.
Anyways, we're gonna stop thinking about it. Keep telling me about the flesh boys.
Most Navajo will not speak on it openly about it because it's believed that it will draw attention to the person speaking about them. So like that's where the whole like don't say their names, don't talk about them, like it'll draw attention. But they're not mindless creatures. So like they just don't want, essentially it's human, also a spirit, also part of a cult, also part of this, also part of that. They just don't want the attention of it. So they just don't talk about it. I would love to go to like the Grand Canyon. My mom went to the Grand Canyon when she was younger, and like that is something I want to see in person.
I would love to see that in person, yeah.
I would, oh my god, I would love to. Love to see. I want to hike the entire length of the Grand Canyon.
Oh, no, can't do that.
I think I could do it.
I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm not gonna join you on that. I'll definitely go with you to the Grand Canyon, but you're hiking with someone else, buddy.
The length alone. Completely understandable. I get it. So the only non-conflicting evidence that I found, which it came in conflicting troves, but the one thing that was like, you can only kill them with a knife or bullet dipped in white ash or junimo ash, and you can only kill them through the hand, which every article I found was through the hand, or, and this is the conflicting one, some articles said the neck and some articles said the head. So
the hand?
The hand. It doesn't say which one, it just says the hand.
Like the palm of their hand?
Yes.
You shoot them right through that and they're dead.
Apparently.
The hand? That's fucking crazy.
Yeah, no. Like, that was the one thing I'm like, okay.
I wonder why. I would like to know why it's the hand, but obviously I'm probably not gonna go do research. I apologize.
That's okay. But no, like that's what I found.
That's actually pretty fucking cool.
And especially with like the emergence of Skinwalker Ranch, it is kind of hard to do that much research on it.
Yeah.
Especially with the time frame I was given.
Sorry.
Because a little reminder, welcome. I got the phone call at like 9:45 last night.
Yep. because I decided to change my whole thing.
So Skinwalker Ranch and like the TV show, it's on the History Channel. You can also find it on Discovery Plus.
Okay.
It's kind of hard to do research with it now that that's emerged. So like all the networks and stuff, like they're promoting it in Google's, like when you search Skinwalker, that's pretty much all that comes up. That with like a bunch of TikToks and stuff like that. So like that's a little rough. And like one of the main things that I go to for source material is Wikipedia.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, like Wikipedia for research is good at getting like source material.
Oh yeah, because once you go to Wikipedia, you'll just click on their references.
Yep.
And you just read their articles. I love Wikipedia.
Yeah.
For especially like cryptids and shit like that and like paranormal stuff.
It just depends on how you use Wikipedia.
Right.
If you're reading the Wikipedia article itself, like you're gonna fuck up.
Yeah.
But if you go down to the resources and read either their articles and books and supplies and stuff like that, you're good. You're set.
I agree.
Because it can link you to primary sources.
Yeah, that's how I do it too. Instead of trying to search through Google, trying to find exactly what I'm looking for, I just look at the Wikipedia page.
Yeah.
Find their articles.
But again, I got this call at 9:45 last night.
You're welcome.
While I was at work.
You're welcome.
And still had to do work.
Yep.
Love you too, babe. And during research, nothing to really repel it completely, but they don't like bright light. Okay.
Okay.
Because they're night creatures, and
it's like 5 Nights at Freddy's flashbang.
Use a high-powered flashlight on them. Essentially, because it's said that their pupils are dilated more, and the light will cause short-term blindness.
Oh, valid.
That's why.
Yeah.
So some of the stories. Well, let me read the Yanaladashi is watching me, because I was starting to read that earlier, and it's like it's a interesting one. Okay, so my grandmother on my mother's side has always been very superstitious, for lack of better words. She's not religious, but she does believe in a lot of paranormal stuff. Her mother was full-blooded Navajo, and her father was Irish. Either way.
Whoa.
You good, bro?
This is the great-grandparents were Irish and Navajo?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, get it, but...
She does believe in a lot of paranormal stuff. Her mother was full-blooded Navajo and her father was Irish. Either way, she's never been anywhere east of Montana, and she grew up in Nevada. One year, when I was in grade school, we went to visit her. Most of the visit was pretty uneventful. Typical boring old people stuff. Except she always kept her curtains drawn shut and would always peek out the window, and when somebody asked what she was doing, she would simply reply, "Yanadala she is watching me." This went on for nearly the entire visit, until a few days before we were due to leave. My grandma and my then baby brother, he's now 19, lol. We were in the front yard that evening, planting flowers, when all of a sudden, my grandmother starts shouting, insert little brother's name here, "Get away from that creature, it's not safe." Of course, being in Nevada, we all assumed that my brother had found a scorpion or a rattlesnake, so we run outside to see my grandmother clutching my little brother and shaking in terror against the side of the house. Standing out in the yard was a large, black, Great Dane-sized dog. It was staring at my grandmother with an intensity I'd never seen before. It looked up at us, gave a little huff, and bounded off. I don't remember if it moved unusually fast or not, but I do remember it had really deep yellow eyes. When my mother asked my grandmother what had happened, she just kept repeating, "The Yalandashi has found me." She moved a couple weeks after that.
Ew.
Yeah.
I love that.
See, like that was a good story.
That was a good story.
Whether it was true or not, I don't know, but that was a good story.
I want to hear the one where it runs away on the back feet.
So they ran away on their back legs. So this happened about 12 years ago. My family owns a farm in the heart of Indiana Reservation. One winter, I was home for Christmas, taking care of my farm, while my parents were away Christmas shopping. As I was home by myself, way late at night, and I hear all our cows freaking out. I knew it had to be the wild dogs that are rampant in the area, so I throw on some boots, grab a shotgun, load it up, and head to the field. This was perfect scenario for a horror movie. It was cloudy, but there was a full moon, and it was breaking through the clouds just right to light up the snow. That's fucking terrifying. Like, perfect horror movie.
That is a perfect horror movie.
Mm-hmm. I ran out into the middle of the field, and just in time to see 2 dogs. They were standing up facing each other and fighting. I think, perfect, 2 for 1. So I pump a shell in the chamber of Mr. 12 gauge, and then it happened. The 2 dogs heard the rack. They both stopped, looked over at me, and ran away on their back legs. Immediately, I froze.
I'm sorry. That would make me laugh. In the moment, like if me experiencing it, I'd be afraid.
You'd shit your pants and run away, and then start laughing later.
But imagining 2 large dogs just turning around, looking at you, and then skedaddling.
Because dog legs,
like this, and then
dog legs are yes, very weird.
And they look so funny. Could you imagine that running away from you? Like,
yeah.
Imagining that sequence. Like, yes, it's terrifying. Like, if I were that person, I'd be so fucking scared.
Oh, yeah.
But imagining it as they're telling it.
After the fact.
So fucking funny.
Hysterical.
Love that. Okay, go ahead.
But that's terrifying. Immediately I froze, and every ghost story about Skinwalkers and all the other native legends I grew up with flew through my mind. Keeping in mind, I'm a white guy. And up until then, these were all just the boogeyman stories the native kids liked to tell to scare us. That night, they became real to me.
Love that.
Terrifying.
Scary.
Okay.
Okay, so it's kind of staying on theme, which I'm going to show how uncultured I am, how white I am, if you can't already tell. I always thought Flesh Boys and Wendigos were the same exact thing.
I knew that they were similar, but I didn't think that they were the exact same thing.
I thought they were the same exact thing and just had different names because they're from different regions.
Yeah.
Wendigos are, in my head, I was thinking Wendigos are like the colder eastern side. Mm-hmm. And Flesh Boys were that area. Central America? Is that what you know?
I don't know, like New Mexico, Utah.
Yeah, that like those areas. I thought completely different. I didn't know they were different. They are very different, but I had no fucking clue. It started off with, I was trying to do the mimic because TikTok talks about how the mimic is like its own entity, which actually it's not. Mm-hmm. It's just things can mimic. Mm-hmm. Correct me if I'm wrong. But everything that I've read, the only time it mentions mimic as its own entity is D&D or TikTok.
Yeah.
That's it.
Every other time it's a demon or a spirit.
But I've seen a lot about Wendigos.
Yeah.
And Wendigos being a mimic. And I really liked it. And I saw a couple of videos. We'll get into the videos after.
Which, by the way, we tried to do a recording of Lady doing
the
mimic, and
I'm embarrassed about that.
Storm doing the frogman, which we'll eventually redo.
Oh, yeah.
But neither of us liked it.
No. And then also, like Storm said, I'm a Virgo. Okay. I like to be very organized. And I was having a really busy week with school and exams coming up. And I had a really big exam to do. And I completely fumbled the bag. So my story is on the Wendigo. I'm going to begin with a little story for you. So 2 hunters found themselves lost during a brutally cold winter with no way home, no resources, or food. A man's intense hunger drove him to cannibalism. After tasting another human's flesh, he was transformed into a crazed, insatiable monster. This creature roams the forest in search of more people to eat, never becoming full.
So pretty close to the Skin Boys.
Kind of. So the Wendigo is... Oh god, I'm gonna fuck this up. Algonquian.
Okay. I don't think you fucked that up.
They are Canadian natives.
Okay,
so this is more like Ontario.
Okay. Ontario.
It's like Ontario, Toronto regions. No, Ontario. Just Ontario region. But Algonquin... Jesus Christ.
You said it right the first time, I think. Algonquin
folklore. So this is... The Wendigos originate in... are mainly spotted in like Canada, northern Great Lakes, USA. So like Minnesota, Michigan,
Well, we don't.
Ohio. Yeah, exactly. Um,
PA, because the Appalachians.
no, this is nothing to do with Appalachia.
Oh.
Wendigos, nothing to do with Appalachia. They are cold weather monsters.
Okay.
So it's created when someone is forced to eat people, and it also can be. That's one of the main sources. Is one of the main things that I saw was this creature is only created when someone is forced into eating human flesh to survive, basically. Okay. But I also saw that it is like it can be like the manifestation, the spirit of a super greedy, terrible person. Okay. Can turn into a Wendigo. They have the potential to. So the story of the Wendigo started off as just like it was the Wendigo spirit was going to get you, and it was told as this like little tale to kind of like scare people into not eating each other during times of like during winter times when there was famine.
Yeah, less food during the winter.
So they would tell this story of how if you were to eat another human, you would turn into a Wendigo, and we would shun you and send you into the forest and never deal with you again. You will be alone. And because of that, it's also known as the spirit of lonely places.
Oh.
So, like I said, the original stories, when the Algonquian people were telling them, were more based off of, oh, this is a spirit.
Mm-hmm.
And you got to watch. You know, it's like if you're not good, like the Krampus.
Okay. This versus.
It was told like the spirit of the Wendigo is going to come and get you if you're not a good person.
Okay.
And if you're super greedy and super selfish, you will turn into this entity and you'll be shunned and no one will ever want to be around you.
Mm-hmm.
But it is now a physical entity. It is a physical being.
Okay.
So the Wendigo is 15 feet tall with a heart made out of ice. Its skin so tight that you can see bone. And it's mainly described as emaciated.
Hot.
Shut up. The skin being so tight and seeing bones, it quite literally looks like a skeleton walking.
15 foot tall?
Yes. 15 feet tall skeleton.
Hot.
The color is gray death.
Yeah.
The color of death, gray. It has owl eyes that are sunken deep into sockets, razor sharp claws, jagged teeth, tattered and bloody lips. And don't say anything to this next part. Overly long tongue. It has
wait, what?
Overly long tongue.
Oh,
shut the fuck up. Matted hair.
Are we learning that Storm would fuck a Wendigo?
I think we all
or a Skinwalker?
That Storm would fuck a Wendigo or a Flesh Boy. I think we all knew that.
Storm would fuck almost anything.
yeah. Given the opportunity, I would not see you turning it down.
Given the opportunity to fuck a Skinwalker, a Wendigo, an alien, specifically with tentacles.
Anyways, it has matted hair, and its breath sounds like a strange hiss. Footprints that it leaves behind are full of blood, and it's foul smelling. It smells like death and decay.
We can shower it.
Anyways, it's so skinny that people say that it's so skinny that it's like 2D. You cannot see it unless it is forward facing you.
Well,
unless it is looking straight on, head on at you, you cannot see it. It is that skinny that when it turns to the side, it disappears.
Well, they also see it like in the woods and stuff, right? They probably just think it's a tree branch.
There's not spottings of it. There are sightings nowadays of it.
Okay.
It seems like it's more okay with coming out of its hiding hole. But back it wasn't like you would just see it. Most of the time, if you saw it, you were dead.
Okay.
But they say it's that skinny. It's so emaciated, and it supposedly grows with every kill, so that it can never be full.
Oh, so it might start off at like 15 feet, but it might go to like 20 feet.
It might start off at like 5 foot.
Yeah.
And grow. But most of the time you see it when it's 15 feet. But every time it eats, its body will adjust so that it can never be full.
I bet it's into food play.
Anyways. Some people say it's a cousin of Bigfoot. Others say it's a cousin of a werewolf. And others say it's actually both Bigfoot and werewolf combined.
Like, I don't want to say inbred because that gives the wrong idea, but like
No, like if a Bigfoot and a werewolf had a baby
multi-species.
and made it emaciated and just kind of abandoned it, that's how you get the Wendigo.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to read you something. It's by Basil H. Johnston. Basil. He is a native author and ethnographer, and this is from his book, The Manitus. Manitus? Manitous. Or, yeah. The Wendigo was gaunt to the point of emaciation. Its desiccated skin pulled tightly over its bones, with its bones pushing out over its skin. Its complexion, the ash gray of death, and its eyes pushed back deep into its sockets. The Wendigo looked like a gaunt skeleton recently disinterred from the grave. What lips it had were tattered and bloody, unclean, and suffering from suppurations of the flesh. The Wendigo gave off a strange and eerie odor of decay and decomposition, of death and corruption.
I can bring it in. I can shower it, put a little like lavender and like some vanilla on it, and it'll just we'll have a good time.
So the stories being told of the Wendigo, like the origin stories of it, were mainly between the 1800s and the 1920s.
Okay.
But in 1661, there was a Jesuit relations documents.
So like way earlier.
Yeah, 1661. Okay. In these documents, it described what seems like an encounter with the Wendigo. So, I just wanted to put that in there. That we so far that we've seen, the stories originate from like 1800s, but there is documentation of something that's like a Wendigo from 1661. So, a lot of people believe that the Wendigo sightings, if you see a Wendigo, it's actually a death omen.
Okay.
But many of the sightings occur in Kenora, Ontario region of Canada.
Okay. So what does it say about me wanting to fuck a Wendigo?
A lot more about yourself. So Anasazi symbols are used to keep the Wendigo at bay.
Okay.
You put the Anasazi symbols in like a ring. It's kind of like a protection barrier.
Okay.
And you can keep it at bay. But the only way to kill it is with either full iron, pure iron, pure steel, pure silver, or to starve it. The only way to actually kill it if you're using a weapon is you have to shatter its ice heart with a pure silver stake and dismember it with a silver axe.
How long would you have to starve it? Because isn't it already starving?
Apparently it can starve, but yeah. So another thing about the Wendigo, though, is that it's not human anymore. It does not have, like, it's not rational. You know what I mean? The only things it knows is hunger.
Okay, so like how a Skinwalker is not a mindless creature, the Wendigo is.
Yes, it's mindlessly roaming the woods. The only time it will have any sense of thought is when it's hunting its prey.
Okay.
Okay. Any other time, it just knows hunger, and that's it. And it's constantly trying to fill its void, which is why it's so many times associated with greed and gluttony and stuff like that. Is because it's never full. It's never satisfied. It can never be satisfied.
Why do I sexually identify with Wendigos?
I love that. Anyways,
because I just want to keep going.
So the abilities of the Wendigo. The speed will vary. Some are super fast with very high stamina, so they're very fast for a very long time. And others describe it as slow and haggardly because it's basically a walking fucking corpse that's decaying. But apparently, the longer it lives, the stronger and faster it gets, and it also can start healing itself. Its healing abilities grow, which is gross. But none of that fucking matters because you know how they actually hunt? You know how they hunt? Mimic. That's where the mimicry comes in.
Mm-hmm.
Their hunting style is mimicking the sounds of your loved ones or people you know or something that's going to draw you to it 9 times out of 10, it's in distress. So it's someone screaming from the woods, a baby crying. It's someone like it would, if it wanted to get you,
It baby cry.
or it would be like your mom calling out for help, me calling out for help. It sounds like me, and I'm so scared. That's how it draws you into the woods.
Oh,
and it keeps doing that until you are so far gone into the woods and lost. And then that's when it attacks and eats you.
I don't know how far I would go into the woods, because if I'm hearing it off in the distance, like, okay, I'll go a little bit. But if I haven't found you within like 5 minutes,
We'll get there. We'll get there.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
it can also control and summon forest creatures in the woods, so it can turn into a fucking bear and attack you anyways. If you try to get away from it. So if it is slow and haggardly, like most people think it is, it can control like a fucking bear or a badger to come out of nowhere and fucking kill you.
Is that okay? Is that like the bear has to be nearby?
I have no clue. All I saw was that controls and can summon.
Okay.
Or possess and summon forest creatures in the woods.
Okay, so like to me, that's one of two things. It's either A, it can call them from very far away and like possess them and get them to come closer. Which, like, yes, maybe it has some on standby, but probably not. You know, like, it's probably not completely opportunistic, but it's probably decently enough opportunistic that, like, if there's not one nearby, then they're kind of like, ugh. Number 2 style would be that, like, they summon it like a portal almost. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which, if that can happen, you're fucked anyways.
Yeah.
But if they have to summon it from far away, and like the distance that the bear has to travel to get to you is far enough away, they can potentially, like, you can potentially get out of that situation.
It can also call upon darkness to hunt even during the daytime. Which reminds me of the Appalachian stories, where they always talk about every now and then
the sky going dark.
Yeah, it goes like pitch black fucking dark. Not like clouds in front of the sun. It's like pitch fucking black dark.
Like it turned into nighttime.
Out of nowhere.
Yeah.
That's a Wendigo's ability.
Yeah, no, that's the sign to turn around and go the fuck home.
Yeah. So.
Not necessarily go home, but just get out of there.
Going back to tribe lore. It's an evil spirit that devours mankind. It craves human flesh and can control the minds of the weak and vulnerable people.
I'm not saying I'm weak and vulnerable, but I would be the one to call home and say, Mom, I joined a cult.
Oh, but it can control your mind. It can slowly possess you.
Okay.
So if it wants to, as it's stalking you to eat you,
I think we found out.
It can slowly just start possessing you.
I think we found out this last weekend that you're a little bit easier possessed than I am.
Leave me alone. I don't want to talk about it. I was so fucking tired too.
Yeah, that's why.
I hated that. That was a terrible, terrible decision we made to take the back roads. Anyways, so it can control the minds of the weak and vulnerable people, and it can make them a Wendigo from the inside out. Meaning, as it's possessing you, it will start making you as a human start to crave
human flesh.
Mm-hmm.
I do want to point out, I always take the back roads. And like, yes, sometimes I'll see some shit, but like, I have never seen as much shit as when I did driving with you that one night on the full moon.
We're just never allowed to like hang out during full moons anymore.
But you know we're gonna do it.
Yeah, true. So in these tribes, they hired hitmen that were supposed to go around and they were the Wendigo killers. It was they would hire people and make it their job to kill Wendigos.
Okay.
Most of the time, it's usually just anyone assumed to be influenced by the Wendigo is killed.
Wait, so what?
Canada had little Wendigo trials. Yeah, but
so like the United States had Salem witch trials. Canada had Wendigo trials.
Well, in the tribe. So in the tribe,
okay,
they had their Wendigo killers, which were their hitmen, and these hitmen would kill anyone assumed to be under the influence by a Wendigo
Well, that's terrifying.
before it can turn into a Wendigo.
Terrifying.
Yeah. It's obviously not as prevalent as what we did to this, yeah, but it's not as prevalent as the Salem witch trials. It wasn't as big as a deal.
Yeah.
It's hard to
Which I would love to do some episodes on, not only the Salem witch
Oh,
trials,
absolutely.
but like the witch trials over in England, because there weren't many burned at the stake. There were not many.
But they were like drowned and fucking stoned.
Yeah. There were a few burned at the stake.
But yeah, so in 1907 there was a man named Jack Fiddler.
Okay.
He was known as the Wendigo Killer and has apparently killed 14 Wendigos by the age of 80-ish when he died.
14.
By the time of his death, he had killed 14 Wendigos.
Okay.
He was the chief of the Cree tribe. And he wasn't killing full-on 15-foot Wendigos. He was killing family and tribe members that were showing signs of possession and had asked him to kill them before they turned into a Wendigo. Signs of possession being craving human flesh.
So these motherfuckers were over here just like, I'm a little hungry. I could eat some people.
No. It's much different. I'll get into that, but
okay.
It's you are craving human flesh. You want to eat people, like pregnancy cravings, even though there's food available.
Okay.
Yes. So
these people, motherfuckers were up like, please kill me. Like,
yes.
Like not suicide, but like assisted suicide.
Assisted suicide, absolutely.
Okay.
Or it was people that had been attacked by a Wendigo, and asked for basically a mercy kill. So Jack was arrested.
Okay.
I actually have the dates of his. I don't have the dates of his arrest. Anyways, Jack was arrested for killing a woman who was threatening the tribe, threatening to kill and eat the tribe. She was showing signs of possession. This is his job. You know, not only is he chief, he is also the Wendigo killer for the tribe. So he kills this woman, and the cops decide to arrest him.
Okay.
He killed himself before going to trial.
Okay.
The cops also arrested his brother. His brother was then sentenced to death and died.
For what, bro?
Murder.
Oh, so his brother was helping him.
Yeah, his brother was an associate.
Okay.
So they killed him.
Okay.
They killed the brother. And it was like either like 2 days or 2 weeks after he had died, they offered a pardon.
Excuse me?
Yeah. The cops often offered a pardon to the brother, thinking he was still alive, but they already hung him.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I thought that was just, wow, great. Early stages of possession, you will experience smelling strange odors that only you can smell. You'll have nightmares that will lead to sleep deprivation and will slowly make you lose sanity.
Oh, I already have both of those. Okay.
The final stages, your legs and feet begin to feel as though they are on fire. You're like, and like your extremities begin to feel like they are on fire. So you end up stripping naked and running into the woods, never to be seen again.
Well,
and if they manage to survive all that and come back, they are never the same person.
I generally feel cold and not warm.
Yeah, no, the final stages of possession, when you're turning into the Wendigo, you're hot. You feel like you're on fire. You strip naked and run into the woods.
Huh.
So there's also this thing called Wendigo psychosis.
I've heard of it.
It's an actual disorder. It's an actual type of psychosis.
I've heard of it.
It's when people are so afraid to become a cannibal that the paranoia makes them crave flesh.
Yep.
It's only psychosis when they crave human flesh, even when food is readily available. So I'm sitting next to you. I can easily go downstairs and get a little snack, but I am sitting here drooling. I feel so hungry. I need to eat you. So that's what I mean. Like these villagers, and it makes sense that they would get into such paranoia of not wanting to eat each other. You know.
Yeah.
Not wanting to become a Wendigo,
that they would
that
start.
they drive themselves to the point of psychosis and they want to eat flesh.
Yeah.
So they're asking, Jack, kill me, because I'm getting to those points.
Yeah.
So, like I said, it's only psychosis when they crave human flesh, even when food is readily available. They can go to the store, they have food downstairs, but they only want human flesh.
Yeah.
And it's like pregnancy cravings. Like, it's extreme cravings of wanting to eat human flesh.
Okay.
So there are known cases of people.
Real quick. Distraction. It's real fucking funny to me that Jacob had to say some shit about Bella wanting human blood instead of Carly thinking, I've dealt with pregnant people in the past because I'm a fucking doctor, and Edward's sitting over there with doctorate degrees. But no, it had to be Jacob, the fucking maybe 18-year-old. Really?
No clue what you're talking about.
Twilight.
Okay.
Jacob's the one that said maybe the baby's craving something a little bit more human.
Oh.
That's why they gave her the blood.
They didn't even think about that.
No. Carlisle and Edward, who both have degrees in medicine, didn't think of it.
Damn.
Yeah.
Shame on them.
Which, whatever.
So, in these cases of Wendigo psychosis, there's reported cases of this. They only have occurred in the Wendigo areas. So,
wow.
Those Canadian, Minnesota, the Great Lakes area of the United States.
Okay.
It's only during the winter time when they're alone.
Okay.
And it's also only cured by Native American healers.
Really?
Or not Native American. I'm sorry, Native healers. But it doesn't have to be Native American. It's Native healers.
Yeah.
So if they practice that type of healing, but it can only be healed by those healers.
Wow. Okay.
I'm going to tell you one of the most infamous cases.
Okay. I'm intrigued.
So there's this man, Swift Runner. He was Cree Indian.
Swift Runner.
Okay. So during a particularly brutal winter, so November of 1878 to February of 1879, that timeline, beginning in the winter of 1878.
Okay.
It was a very brutal winter that really hit the tribe really hard. It reaped starvation and misery for the entire tribe.
Okay.
Swift murdered his wife and 5 children,
and
then proceeded to cook and eat them.
Oh my god.
When confronted, he claimed he was possessed by the Wendigo spirit. He was arrested May 27th, 1879. Me and Quantum's anniversary is May 27th.
Oh, that's creepy.
The day we met, when we got engaged. Well, no, we didn't get engaged on that day. The day we met, the day we got married.
Okay.
The day we set as our date, because we met on May 27th. He was arrested May 27th of 1879. And on December 20th of 1879, he was executed by hanging.
Jesus.
There's other stories and cases similar, and those stretch from northern Quebec down to the Rockies. Very good then. Okay, but yeah, so those are my stories for you about the Wendigo.
Damn.
I found out a lot of things.
I think it's kind of similar. They are both very similar.
Yeah. They're very similar, but very core differences between the two.
Yeah.
The Wendigo can never not be hungry. It has an insatiable hunger. It can never be filled. It can never experience like that.
It's kind of mindless versus the Skinwalker is very much it is a mindful being. Right. It is all there.
So have you ever heard the Wendigo audios?
No.
So people have started recording shit, but the most prevalent one that I saw was obviously posted on TikTok, but these 2 girls were doing the urban explorer type stuff and walking around this abandoned house.
Okay.
And to the back of them, they're Canadian girls. Okay. So the back of them was this stretch of woods, and they're walking around the side of the house. And as they're like coming around, they hear this person screaming, "Someone help me! Someone, anyone help me!"
Okay.
And they're listening to this, and this man is like, when I heard it, I got goosebumps.
Oh Jesus.
I got sick. Like I felt
you
fucking
personally,
sick.
lady,
Yes.
did? Okay.
Me personally, lady, got sick listening
Okay.
to this audio because it genuinely sounded like someone was in trouble, screaming, "Help!" It wasn't like, because usually you'll hear the screaming audios and like, "Oh my god, it's a bobcat." It's fine. It's not someone screaming, because bobcats sound like humans screaming.
Yeah.
They're like, "Oh, it's a bobcat." No, this person was the woods, in the woods. It sounded like they were right there in the woods screaming, "Help me. Somebody please help me."
Okay.
I was like, that's disgusting. It was so...
You're so disgusted by so many things.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But it was so like just visceral.
Okay.
It was like a visceral, like, it sounded like someone was like actually in danger and needed help.
Yeah.
And so when I looked into the video, these girls had said they called the cops and they stayed.
Yeah.
And the entire time they heard the person screaming, "Help me," as they're waiting for the police.
Okay.
Police show up and it stops. In the woods, it's not like, oh, it's a giant fucking forest. It's like the woods that would, like, on residential streets. You know what I mean? It's like this,
Like a
little
patch.
stretch.
Small patch.
It's enough that someone, like a kid, could get lost in there, yeah. But it's like not enough to like not be easily combed through in a day.
Yeah.
So these cops go through and they're looking for it because they showed them the video. Like, "Oh my god, do you hear this? Like, someone is screaming." So they go looking because someone's obviously screaming like that. They might be in danger.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Nothing.
Found nothing.
Wow. Terrifying.
Hate it. Hate
Jesus.
it. Yeah, Wendigos are kind of scary. But
fundamental differences, but I think they're both similarities.
Yeah, they have a lot of similarities.
Oh yeah.
But I think it's like, for me, it's just so different because I used to think they were the same exact thing.
No.
But knowing that flesh boys are like mindful beings,
yeah,
Wendigos are absolutely not. All they know is hunger.
Yeah.
These ones will specifically mimic themselves as something that you could trust.
Yeah.
These ones can only do voice. It cannot change its shape. But you'll only hear its voice screaming out.
Wendy's?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So, like, they're so similar, but so different at the same time.
Oh, yeah.
They both mimic, but, like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
This one's only voices, this one's mainly physical.
Not saying that they can't do physical, because, like, they can possess you if you make eye contact with them.
Yeah.
But you'll not sound different, but, like, the way you speak might be different. Like, instead of saying, "Hey, Storm, you hit me a lot," so hitting me and say, "Hey, Storm, hey, Storm, hey, Storm," you'd pan over to me slowly and be like, "Storm." Like, something weird like that. Like, yeah, something that I wouldn't expect
specific,
from
like,
you.
like, my specific dialect would be different.
Yes.
So I still have not been able to find the specific creature I'm looking for. The one that, like...
The mimic one?
Yeah, the one that, like, mimics the voices of, like, family members and stuff. The only stuff that I found about that, though, was it's a demon.
Yeah.
There's, like, a type of demon that does this.
Yeah.
And all it's doing it for is the fear.
Yeah.
But that's why if you see them, it wants to, like, take over your body. And that's where you get into, like, the doppelganger, shit like that. But
yeah.
This specific demon wants to take over you, kill you, get you out of the picture, take over in your place.
Damn.
But those, from
I
what
think
I
I'd be very
TikTok,
disappointed for my life.
Yeah. But what I... Same. But what I've seen on TikTok, though, is, like, you... it cannot copy the eyes because your eyes are the window to the soul. Mm-hmm. So they can't copy that. It's not, you know... Their tones in their voice, it's very flat. It feels like there's something missing.
Okay.
Because you express your soul through your voice. Like, you have emotion and stuff. A demon doesn't have emotion.
I know I sound emotionless most of the time, but...
Most of the time. Not when you're reacting to stuff, but when you're just talking to me, yeah, sometimes it's very like monotone.
To be fair, I'm very closed off most of the time too.
Yeah. But like that spirit that I'm looking for, it's like it always comes up as like a demon. But like then when you try to get into further research about the demon, it's like I get so mad about it because I want to know. Is that one person on TikTok, Morgan Lambert?
I don't know.
She has all these videos. She literally has a video of her like panning through the yard and seeing what looks like her husband and be like,
oh my god,
that's not my husband, turning around and walking away. There's videos of her and her husband walking through a field and the fucking husband's like, we gotta go, because he hears Morgan from the fucking tree line saying, hey, baby, hey.
Creepy.
Disgusting.
I had a friend send me, it was literally a video titled like quote Skinwalker encounters or whatever, and I looked through them and I was like, maybe one of those is real, but the rest of them aren't.
Oh yeah, no, I get that.
Yeah, no. And he sent that to me literally right before you called me for this podcast.
I told you, right, that I was literally about to text you and ask if you wanted to get on Discord and call.
Yeah.
When you called me.
Yeah.
It freaked me out because I was in the process of typing it, put my phone down, and then started getting a call. And I was like, oh, so I picked it up. I was like, did I text you? Because I genuinely did not know if I texted you or not.
No, you hadn't.
I didn't even know if I hit send or not. Like, it scared me. I'm having a fun time.
It's okay. Okay, so weird thought of the week. Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, let me find one. I have a list of them. Don't worry. So, weird thought of the week.
Have you just been writing down weird stuff you've thought of this week?
One of them I wrote down what I thought of, and then the rest of them I looked up like shower thoughts. But I have a lot of weird thoughts during the week. A lot of weird thoughts. Okay, so weird thought of the week. When you take a bath, you're basically human soup.
That's not a weird thought. That's an uncomfortable thought.
It's still weird.
I don't like that.
I knew you wouldn't. I knew you wouldn't.
You know, I don't like taking baths anyways.
I like taking baths, but there's not a bathtub big enough for me,
no,
so I feel like a beached whale.
Same. I mean, always. But I
like to swim, though, and I like to be immersed in water.
I've always been a little chunky monkey, so I've never really been able to fit in bathtubs. So I'm kind of grown accustomed to it. But I have to shower. Yeah. I have to, like, fully scrub myself down in the shower and then rinse out the bathtub before I can decide to get in the bath. And then I have to have soap. Because if I see any type of dirt, like, floating around in my bathtub, it could even just be because hair fell off the wall or something. I'm out. I can't do it.
No, I'll shower after. Like, I'm gross. Oh, you ignored it?
Yeah.
No, like, I'm not super gross. Like, I shower about every other day.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Sometimes it's every day. But there are times that I have taken a bath and, like, the water will, like, be gross. Like, gross.
Yeah.
So, if anybody wants to buy my bath water, I completely understand.
Stop. Anyways.
No,
I don't know.
We're poor bitches, okay?
I love the idea of a bath, but I actually hate the execution of the bath.
Yeah, I get it.
I want to just always hang out in a hot tub. Because a hot tub feels like it's okay to be a little dirty.
I don't like the feeling of hot tubs. Like the water itself, I don't like the feeling of that water. You know what I mean? Like the pumps need cleaned like really, really well. You know, I grew up with a hot tub.
Yeah.
My dad bought it on Craigslist or something.
No, I want to get one of those inflatable ones.
I've looked at those.
I want to get one of those inflatable ones.
They're not super expensive.
No, they're not. They're really nice.
Yeah.
Me and Quantum want to put it in the basement. After
we
buy it, we're going to put it in the basement.
Okay.
And have a hot tub in the basement.
Okay.
I want it so fucking bad.
Okay.
Because we could just drain it in the pump that's in the basement. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't have to take it outside to drain it and clean it. I just put a hose in there and just start getting that, like, sump pump.
Okay.
Yeah, just get, like, a little hose with, like, the
Just sump pump?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just clean it out. every like week or so, just in the basement, just give it a good little scrub.
Good shit.
Hot tub. I want a hot tub.
Dude,
Crow has a fucking hot tub. It's broke.
How rude.
So now,
Crow, how rude.
Crow, give me your hot tub. Let me get in the hot tub. But I also like really hot water. I want it like 104, 104 degrees. Yeah.
No, too hot. Too hot.
That's the temperatures of the hot tubs when I was living down in Florida.
Yeah, too hot.
Yeah.
Too hot.
I love it.
Now, I
want my skin to burn a little bit when I get in.
I want to hit the lottery. Ew, no. I do not.
I want red skin when I'm getting out.
I do not.
Love it.
I don't even have, like, my skin will turn a little pink, but it won't actually turn red from my showers. Like, I don't take that hot of a shower. I do not go under lava. I am not the typical girl.
I go under lava.
But then again, I am they, that. Like, she, they.
I need my water to be hot enough for me to forget how many people I had to lift that day.
Okay. Understandably. I don't have to lift anybody.
Yeah.
I just need it.
I don't have to lift anyone now, but I've gotten in the habit. I would get home from work at the nursing home.
Yeah.
And just boil my skin.
Yeah.
And it was so relaxing.
Nah, I just need it warm enough to, like, make sure I'm not cold, but not hot enough to boil my skin. Unless I'm having a panic attack, in which case I turn the water all the way up. The hot water all the way up. That's a different story.
Yeah. Anyways.
That's on trauma. Anyways, well, thanks for hanging out with us today.
Be kind. Love yourself.
And maybe hydrate, you little fuckers. Bye, bitches.
I messed it up. Bye, bitches!